minutes to pitch on palm oil related topics. The exciting part is that the top 3 winners will be chosen and awarded with a cash prize of Rm100 for each person. If any of the participants who wish to be involved in this session, kindly introduce yourself by giving your full name, from which course, and from which school. We are requesting the participants to start the pitch with a sentence, "I would like to give a pitch on what topic," to avoid any misunderstandings between the participants and the moderator. Please be informed that our committee member will ring the bell once for the first minute and will ring the bell twice for the last 2 minutes. If your pitching exceeds the 2 minutes, the panels have the rights to deduct the marks. Meanwhile, for the Q&A session, participants who wish to ask questions can introduce yourself, then you may convey your question to our speakers. Our speakers are ready to clear your inquiries. Without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Anthony as the moderator for the Q&A and the Teh Tarik sessions, along with our panels, Ms. Amni Shazana and Technologist Dr. Muhammad Sharizan to the stage. We also pleased to welcome Dr. Nik Muhammad Azhar to the stage, who will be joining us as one of the panelists for the Teh Tarik session. Before we start, let me give a brief introduction of Dr. Nik Muhammad Azhar bin Nik Daud. As for your information, our panel is a seasoned researcher with an extensive record of success in the heavy industry. He is skilled in internal audit, XRF, extreme fluorescence, quality management, root cause analysis and management. He is also a strong research professional who obtained a doctorate of philosophy, PhD in chemistry from Imperial College London, UK. Without further ado, let us welcome all panelists to continue this session. Mr. Anthony, the floor is all yours.
Okay, thank you, MC. Okay, we have been given the open-ended topic about the theme, and we also have the marking rubrics here. This is for the pitching, so whoever is ready to do your pitching, you can do so. There's a microphone there which has been put up there. And also, if anyone is having any questions on the topics which were presented, or even if there is any topics besides what was presented, but as long as it is relevant. And I think all of us who are sitting here, we will try our best to explain and also give the best answer to our knowledge. So we can start. So I see the crowd has lessened. Because I don't think, I know some of the topics that not some, all the topics which were presented were like, was quite technical. But I think it's not something new to the rest of you, right? You guys are engineering students, you deal with problems, you deal with complicated things, topics, each and every day. So it comes very easy to all of you. So, and I was made to understand that the best pitch, top 3, right, will be getting some consolations. So make sure that you actually try your best, and we will also try to give the best and positive response based on our experience and knowledge. So I think, is there anyone who would like to start first? Or maybe just questions? Oh yes, we have someone.
Yes. Good afternoon to everyone. I'm Jing Xiang. I'm from chemical engineering. The topic I want to discuss today is about the deforestation problem that will eventually cause the global warming and drag our progress to achieve SDG number 13, climate action. Just now from the talk from Mr. Anthony, in the slide, he stated that the statement about the palm oil plantation being the major contributor is actually a fake statement, right? And then Mr. Anthony stated that the livestock and cattle ranching are actually the main problem. But from my opinions, I think that no matter you are the contributor number 1, number 2, or number 3, when there is the deforestation, you are runs against the term sustainable. And then, so I think that the palm oil industry should start to stop the expansion of palm oil field and move their focus to maybe genetic engineering, or also redesign the process production of the palm oil, make a higher yield of palm oil. And this can reduce the deforestation, and also at the same time doesn't affect the profit of company. And it also can give a new understanding to people that palm oil is real sustainable, and they will support the palm oil product. And according to this, I think that palm oil industry needs a lot of engineers, and especially chemical engineers. So I'm here to suggest palm oil industry can give more opportunities to internship program for chemical engineer students to create a win-win build situation between a company, the student, and the environment to create a real sustainable palm oil. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So can we, you can sit down. So we will try to address that. Okay, I totally agree with you. We are not trying to justify ourselves here. No, that's not. Like you said, like you guys know, I'm a forester. I'm pro-forestry. I'm pro-forest, but at the same time, I'm not anti-palm oil. Okay, the thing is, when we said about deforestation, the highest contributor is from cattle ranching and the meat industry. We are not trying to say that we are better than them. No, but we are trying to say that the other point that I've highlighted, palm oil is the first edible oil in the world which was certified sustainable through RSPO. It means the palm oil industry have evolved. It has started to change since 20 years ago, and more sustainable practices are being adopted. We are giving more opportunities for sustainable practices. We are looking into conservation. We are looking into biodiversity protection, and that is why in Malaysia, like what was explained by the second speaker also, we have introduced the Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil Certification Scheme, and this was made mandatory since 2020. Why? It was actually started 5 to 6 years ago, but when you make something voluntary, people are not willing to actually go and join forces to be green. But the government realized that this is not the way that this industry is going to be going on to the future. So that is why the Malaysian palm oil industry actually introduced MSPO, and it was made mandatory since 2020, forcing all companies to adopt sustainable certification. And through that, all companies are looking into all sustainability aspects, and MSPO adopts everything on the 17 SDGs. So we are getting there, and that is why you can see from the number of companies in Malaysia who has adopted MSPO, it has already reached 90%. But we are still working there because we need to help the smallholders. Big companies, they can afford to get engineers, managers, sustainability officers, experts, consultants to do sustainable practices. But how about all the pachi-pachi or the machi-machi in the kampong, in the felda, whoever? So government is helping and we are actually looking into that. So I'm not saying that we are the best industry in the world, no. But we were the industry who actually embarked on sustainability way much earlier compared to rest of the industries. Okay. Also, the second point, talking about expansion, Malaysia has only capped, we would plant oil palm plantation up to 6.5 million hectares only. 6.5, that is the cap which was declared by the minister, I think it was 1.5 years ago. But we have not reached that cap. So for the time being, we have only reached up to 5.7 million hectares. So if you see, this is only about 17% of Malaysia's agricultural land. Okay, for the whole of Malaysia, you have land which is protected for forests, which is 55%. And you have percentage of land which is actually for agriculture. Okay, we need to feed our communities, right or not? And at the same time, you have percentage of land for development, urbanization. You want to go to malls. If everybody want to stay at home, you don't need malls, then there will be less deforestation. I already thought about it. But no, we are humans. We need certain necessities. So you need infrastructure. So that actually costs a certain percentage of land cover which need to be developed. So that is why I'm saying that Malaysia, we have well-planned development also for agriculture, commodities, and also human development. And also the other thing is, I think the Dean mentioned about this. We were previously #1, but now no more. There has been studies done in UN and it was actually proven. Malaysia is not going and we are not focusing into expansion. No, because we only have this much of land mass. We cannot compete with Indonesia. Indonesia is is a larger country. So that is why, even though they came into the industry late, but they were expanding very quickly, very fast, rapidly, and that's how they actually overtook Malaysia, because they had more land. They could actually expand and they actually covered, planted more oil palm. So that is how they actually exceeded, or they went again. We lost to them. But then Malaysia, when it comes to the other processes, we are not focusing on expansion, but we are focusing on intensification. Intensification is we are trying to come up with better mechanization so that we could increase harvest. Mechanization, this is where engineers come in, and that's where you guys need to think about this, because Malaysian Palm Oil Board have actually launched many programs, many even competitions to bring in certain ideas for mechanization for the palm oil industry, which has not had any big breakthrough. We have not had any big breakthrough. The only breakthrough which is applicable and cost effective is the mechanized chantas. It's how you harvest the fruits. It's a small tool, mechanized, and that is being adopted. But when it comes to other bigger machineries or whatsoever, we have not been successful. So for engineers, you guys need to think about it. But also the other thing is, one of the other biggest constraint is also contaminants, process contaminants. I think it is much more closer to you guys as chemical engineers. Process contaminants, one of the problem which the palm oil industry has been having, and I don't think it's just plaguing the palm oil industry, but also other edible oil industries, which is 3-MCPD and GE, glycerol ester. This is a process contaminant which happens at the mill. And many companies are looking into this. They have got many engineers working on it, chemists, and a lot of process officers are working on it. And we have actually reduced them, but we cannot eliminate it. So these are some of the things that you guys can think of. But when it comes to deforestation, yes, we are actually reducing, and we are going into zero deforestation. And I think when it comes to sustainable practices, Malaysia is way much ahead of any other countries, or even, I could say, even way much ahead of Indonesia. All right?
Okay, I just want to add small parts. Yeah, one of the important, as I agree, we don't go to the deforestation. We want to expand the plantation, but we go to the more efficient process. Like I said, in Malaysia have I think introduced ETP, if you know, Economic Transformation Program in 2013. He would like to increase the oil extraction rate, the national oil extraction rate from 21% to 23%, if I'm not mistaken. But it's not yet reached until now. So actually, if you can increase the yield, like I said, from even for 1%, it actually can contribute a lot of money for it. No, that's all. So the chemical engineer, what you should do is we will try to improve the process. So by having the process improvement, we don't have the waste. We will try to take as much as the yield that can be extracted, that can be come out from the oil itself, rather than it's been thrown away in the waste, such as the empty proof barn and so on. That's all my opinion on that part.
Thank you, Doctor. So, anyone else want to add, or we are ready for next? Yes, go ahead.
Testing. May I start now? Okay. Good afternoon to everyone. I'm Wong Zhen Li from currently a year 2 undergrad from chemical engineering, and today I'm just going to share some of my thoughts about the sustainability of oil palm industry in the perspective of a chemical engineer. Right. I think palm oil biomass in Malaysia is responsible for quite a majority of biomass production in the plantation industry. Right? And however, a staggering amount of waste is generated from the palm oil industry. From what information I get, in 2014 alone, common biomass produced such as palm shell, mesocarp fiber, and empty fruit bunch amounted to be 4.46, 7.472, and 7.34 million tonnes respectively. Right. I think that in order to transform the palm oil industry into a more sustainable one, it's crucial to utilize this byproduct and embrace the concept of circular economy to turn those wastes into wealth. And I think that one possible way to achieve this is by transforming the palm oil waste into a source of renewable energy. Palm oil biomass has been proven to high potential as a source of renewable energy due to its high calorific value and etc. As a chemical engineer, equipped with the knowledge of reaction engineering, can play a crucial role in designing and optimizing the chemical reactors to enable the production of the bioproducts, including those from the bioproducts refined from the palm oil mouth effluent, which is the wastewater that contain a complex carbohydrate that can produce gases like methane after refination. And I think that as a chemical engineer, we should be more into this industry as chemical engineering principle and operational management and plant design economics and those information and knowledge we have, including separation and process control, allow us to give a better understanding to this industry and contribute more into this industry. Alright, that's all for me. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. That's a lot of things. I mean, it's a good that he actually has been thinking about all these things. And I think maybe Doctor, you want to say something because yeah. Yeah, sure.
To be honest, it's a very good point. To be honest, nations has been do a lot of research on that. If you go to UPM, you will see that they have developed a pilot plan actually on utilizing a waste from palm and turn it into what we call charcoal, and being used actually and being commercialized already. Right. So there's a lot of what we call biomass that from palm that being utilized. Some of it as used as a sugars actually, additive in foods. So that's why when we say palm oil, we're just not looking just on oil itself. A lot of additive that you can get from palm, including waste, and most of it has been utilized. But we don't realize it yet because we are only focused on palm oil. So to be honest, in terms of what we call as a cold source or renewable energy source, it has a high ceiling and actually it's been commercialized by one of our researchers in UPM. If you like to see Prof. Leong Jing Xiang. Right. Thank you for me.
Yeah, okay, you want to add something on, Doctor?
It is very good point of view on the what we call it sustainability in the palm oil mill itself. When you talk about this, the utilization of biomass, actually, I believe most of the palm oil mill currently is actually using their own waste, which is palm oil fiber, palm kernel as well as the empty bunch used for the steam generation. For the use of the sterilization, and as well I've seen in one of the factory in Malacca, if not sure, it also can produce the energy from it. I mean, the factory actually not using the electric from the TMB, is using from their own generation, and even some of the factory is selling back to the grid TMB, because that is the unique of the palm oil, because we can use everything on it. Even we have my professor last time, we have done some research on the oil palm trunk, which is after the replantation process, they have a lot of trunks, and then we try to extract the sugar from it. And then they have a significant, but I'm not sure whether the how is the progress from the research, but there is a significant amount of sugar on it. And then we can actually extract the sugar from the trunk. But and then also after my graduation, actually I'm working with one company. Actually, what we do, we actually produce the steam from the emptying from bunch, and then we sell it to the other company. We are just producing the steam from the emptying from bunch, put it into the boiler. And then produce the steam, and then we sell to another company for it. That is the company business. That is very interesting in the palm oil. Then as you know, actually this is circular economy is very good now. And then I think a lot of professor, for example, in Nottingham we have Professor Dominic is very into this biomass integration of the palm oil mill. And then last month actually we will have heard his presentation in Tokyo, Japan, about this progress on the Malaysia palm oil utilization. Actually, a lot of company in Malaysia, palm oil mill, even the refinery, actually they are using, they call as the process is a pinch analysis. I believe that you are aware about using this pinch analysis in chemical engineering, but they are using the pinch analysis not for the heat integration, but for the heat integration using the what we call it biomass in palm oil mill. So that's current what we call it progress on this. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, I agree with that. Yes. Okay. Yes. Come on. We have something from the certification
part. I just want
part.
to add something because just now you said about the biomass. And okay, for your information, MSPO standard also we have a biomass certification for MSPO. Okay, the biomass certification is voluntary, and we also the biomass certification that we design and establish is because of the Japanese what we call that Japanese punya permintaan. Dia permintaan for our kernel, if I'm not mistaken, kernel palm kernel shell. Yeah, so that's why we designed the MSPO biomass for the company so that they can export the palm kernel shell to Japan.
Okay, so like what my colleague mentioned, okay, there is a demand from Japan for palm kernel shell. So the demand is there, but the problem, not to say the problem, the constraint has always been how do we extract and make this available at a cost-effective level. That is the part that everybody is struggling. To do a research or to find out the potential is one thing, and I think that is one of the challenges for engineers of these days, which is you guys are having this challenge. How do you make a discovery become more cost effective? Because if you want to find something but it is too expensive for us to actually make a prototype or even come up with a discovery, if it's too expensive, nobody is willing to adopt it. So that is the other part. It doesn't only have to be a novel idea, something new, but it has to look into the cost aspect also. Because actually last year we had one of this program was organized by POPSIG to give bursaries and award for students. And actually I was quite impressed with some of the students' ideas and proposals which we received, and there was quite a number on biomass. And the potential is there because it's out there. And some of the plantations, right, they could actually extract it out. So you need the machines or you need the logistics to get them out. But for plantations which are like very far away in rural areas, cost and distance of operation becomes a problem. So that is why some companies adopt it very strongly. Some actually just do a very minimal of what they need to do. So this is where the engineers come in. You need to look into, make sure that your idea is something novel, something new. Don't try to, so that's why you need to browse through the whole industry. A lot of things has been done. So make sure that your idea is not outdated. So come up with something and something which is viable. That's the most important thing. But the industry is doing a lot of things when it comes to exploiting the palm biomass, like what Professor mentioned just now about power generation, clean energy. This is happening, and even the government is giving funds for companies to adopt and to actually make more, construct more methane capture plants, so that they could actually embrace this clean energy. And like how Professor mentioned also, the excess energy can actually be connected to the national grid. So you are not actually just giving energy to that mill itself and your own plantation, but you are actually giving it out to the local communities which are nearby. So that is on that. And also palm biomass, we also have palm wood. but it's just that palm wood doesn't come under this ministry, it comes under the timber ministry. So that is why a lot of things are happening. So, but there are still a lot of opportunities that you could actually embark on, look into it. Alright? Okay? But it's a good thing that you are thinking about that, yeah? Not just the oil, but also the waste and also the, you know, the side things which are happening around. So that's a good thing. Alright. Yes, who else? We still have time. We will make time for you.
My name is Ali Bahzad. I am from Department of Civil Engineering, doing the PhD over there. And I don't know more about palm oil, and as per best of my knowledge, Malaysia is the second biggest industry of palm oil, but you cannot understand the importance of the palm oil in Pakistan. It is very much expensive. The cooking oil is very much expensive in Pakistan. In Malaysia, you can get a subsidized oil at the rate of 2.5 or 3 ringgits per liter, but in Pakistan, you cannot deny the importance, because the cooking oil is about 10 to 12 ringgits. After conversion, I am let you inform that the rate is about 10 to 12 ringgits per liter. So you can export the oil to Pakistan, whereas it is the reality. And I heard about that Pakistan is importing cooking oil of $2 billion. Pakistan is spending $2 billion annually for importing the cooking oils. So if Malaysia is exploring and doing a lot in the field of palm oil, but still there are the Islamic brother countries apart which needs the cooking oil and like that. So I don't know about much more about the situation in other countries, but from the Pakistan point of view, the shortage of there is shortage and very much expensive cooking oil, and even the poor persons cannot buy that. I think that the time is limited, and I actually want to share with you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. I totally get your point. And as representative from MPOC, we are actually in charge of promotion and marketing. And just for everybody's information, my director of marketing now, he is actually he's a Pakistani, Mr. Faisal Iqbal. He was actually our regional manager who was based in Pakistan. So he was actually working for MPOC in marketing Malaysian palm oil for the Pakistan market. But then, among the South Asian countries, if we compare India, Pakistan, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, Pakistan and Sri Lanka and also Bangladesh, these markets are very volatile in the sense that it's all due to the government policies. I mean, the exporting countries' policies. So they are very volatile that it changes abruptly, and that is why Malaysian palm oil export has been like going up and down. It has not been constant. And even the same effect was also we also felt it through India. But still, India, because the market itself is so big, and they still need more oil to feed their communities, their public, so they still keep on taking Malaysian palm oil. But then the concern always comes in, is it like, who's gonna beat the price? Is it Malaysia or Indonesia? And most of the time we lose to Indonesia because their production cost is much more lower than us. But coming back to Pakistan, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh has been volatile. Some of the government's policies, we have difficulties to comply, or even the tax is much more higher. So that's why sometimes the Malaysian companies, they don't want to sell it to specific countries, because by including those taxes, the oil becomes very expensive. So it's not viable, and that's why we lose to Indonesia. Indonesia's production cost is lesser, and so ours is slightly higher. So when comparison to Indonesia, we will still lose to them. But if, let's say in some other cases, like maybe Pakistan, why palm oil is not there visible, maybe I think it's due to the country's policy also. But I will need to verify this, but most of the time, these are the 3 countries which actually affected by the country's policy, the importing country's policy. And sometimes they want to protect their own production, their own edible oils, or maybe they have some other countries which they are importing some other oils. Because you see, some of the other problems is like in India, even in Pakistan, the community or the public, they prefer mustard oil or maybe other types of oil. And also the other thing is, when we are sending palm oil there, usually it's not in the form of cooking oil like what you have in Malaysia, you know, because these countries, certain areas on the northern region, they have like the cold temperate climate. So sometimes if you put it in bottles, it has to be opaque bottles. So it needs specific packaging, so that would increase the cost. And most of the time, even in India and Pakistan and even in Bangladesh, it's not really in the form of cooking oil or palm oil. It's always in the form of what they call as vegetable ghee. I think maybe most of you are not aware of this. They call it vanaspati. So things like that. So, but one thing is, Malaysia, we have not let go of that market. We are still holding on to Pakistan, and we are still doing a lot of promotion to actually promote Malaysian palm oil so that we could export more to all these countries. We are still looking strongly into this, and our officer is placed all over the whole world. We have 10 offices doing marketing, looking into Malaysian palm oil. So one of it is actually, who is Mr. Faisal Iqbal, he's actually looking into Pakistan. So we have one officer in India. So that is, both of them, they are looking after the South Asian countries. Okay, we still have one more, I think. Yes.
Okay, so good afternoon to the judge and also the panel and also the lecturer here. So since today we are talking about the sustainable in palm oil industry, so I just talk about the environmental issue lah. So actually, as we all know, Malaysia is one of the global producer of the palm oil industry. So actually, Malaysia and Indonesia account for a total of 85% of the palm oil production here. So actually, for my part, I would like to talk about the utilization of the POME to produce the clean water. Actually, as we all know, POME occupies a great amount from the palm oil production. So actually, if the POME cannot be utilized completely, so it will actually cause the environmental pollution issue. So it will then contradict with the concept and also the principle as applied in RSPO and also the MSPO. So in my part, actually I think if the POME can be utilized clearly, because recently there are many advanced technology, especially in the membrane treatment. So actually if they are utilized, so actually we can even achieve the target of 0 liquid discharge. So if we can apply the membrane treatment or maybe other wastewater treatment to apply the POME, then we can also solve the water scarcity issue. So in the SDG, there are also a SDG to solve the water scarcity issues, which is the clean water and sanitation, and also goes to the ESG for the environmental aspect. They also aim to solve the water scarcity issues. So I believe that membrane treatment maybe is a sustainable and also feasible treatment to treat the POME. So maybe the judge will have some more thoughts on the feasibility of this solution. So that's all for my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So that is actually, he's referring to POME. Usually from the industry we call it POME, palm oil mill effluent. Okay, POME. So I'm very sure, Doctor, you have some thoughts about this. Okay, let them handle the technical part, and then maybe I give some general idea about the whole issue. Okay, all right.
Yeah, very good idea. This is what we talk about, which is re-engineering of this palm oil mill. We know that the use of wastewater treatment in the palm oil mill, which is using the anaerobic pond, is already 40 years, 30 years I mean, since the beginning of this palm oil mill. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, maybe Penang can, there is one rule I'm not sure whether MPOB or not, we know that in the POME, anaerobic treatment, they will produce the methane during the process. And we know that methane is contribute to 27 more greenhouse effect in comparison with carbon dioxide. Yeah, we know that, and some improvement that can be done I think already been done. They actually have a kind of biogas trap in this anaerobic, what we call it, anaerobic water treatment. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's already been enforced that every new mill need to introduce this biogas extractor. So meaning that there is no more open, something like that, open pond for anaerobic water treatment for the POME. And also we will see a lot of improvement, like you said, there is a membrane for the wastewater treatment. There is maybe various other process improvement on that, and also various researchers also search for the possible what we call it, product improvement on the POME itself. On the sludge itself, they are produce a lot of other products, and also as well as some of the researchers last time in UTM, they actually found out some bacteria in this. Microbe in this POME in the degradation of the oil, try to isolate the and then for the lignin degradation, if I'm not mistaken. So that is kind of improvement on that. That's all for me.
Yeah, okay. So anything else? Anything? Okay, I think that's one of the biggest thing which is happening, and also like what we have mentioned for the second participant just now. The methane capture. So POME also contributes to methane capture, where this green energy is, these gases, methane gas are captured, and then it's actually, connected to the grid to actually generate green energy. So actually that's one of the things which has been happening, and more companies are adopting it. And not just that, even palm oil mill effluent, even though this is called as effluent, it doesn't mean that it is just gone to waste. If I'm not mistaken, there has been also another breakthrough where they actually extract from this mill effluents the phenolics compound. and that is actually made into something like it's an additional supplement, things like that. It's actually they have already discovered that we could actually extract phenolics out from effluents, which is actually basically they are from palm oil. So a lot of research are still being done how to make use this effluent which is actually produced from the palm oil mills. So a lot of research are still being done. I still remember even the concern about the environment has always been there, and this is why more and more research is being done by the companies and also refineries how to make this effluent is non-hazardous to the environment. Because you see, it's not just about complying to MSPO to make it environmentally friendly. No, we are also governed by Department of Environment. So how much of smog being released, how much of effluent is being released into the riverine system, into the sludge, or even the kind of smell, which is also a part of pollution. Everything is being monitored. So the company need to comply to all of this. So it's not just they need to comply towards sustainability certification of MSPO, but also other government and ministerial and departmental regulations. And one of the biggest one when it comes to effluent is basically it's DOE, Department of Environment. They monitor that. So that is also important, and that is why a lot of innovations are also being made to actually to ensure that companies can comply. All right? Okay. So that's all from me. Anything else that we want to add? Okay. Okay. I think that's all the time that we have, and I'm quite happy with the kind of thoughts and ideas which came out. I think everybody is looking into waste, effluent. That's what I can get at, and at least you guys are trying to relate it to the environment. Okay, you know about sustainability, and you're very concerned. And I think everybody is, and the world is moving towards that. Very concerned about environment and sustainability, and I really hope that we could all learn more from each other. You guys need any information, please reach out to us. All of the panel here would be glad to help you out. And before I end this session, I would like to thank all my panelists. Let's just give them a big round of applause. And thanks to everyone who stayed back. I know tomorrow is a public holiday, and still everybody, you took the time to be with us and to listen to us. And thank you to thanks to Dean also for having us, and also to the organizer and to all the committee members who made this event happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you to everyone who participated in this session. With this, I believe the Q&A and Teh Tarik session have ended.
The only thing is they call it Teh Tarik session, but we are not given Teh Tarik. No worries, no worries.
We are now taking a 5-minute break in order to allow our event management department to calculate the scores and affirm the winners. And if anyone wishes to leave the hall, please do so and return by 5:20. Now it's 5:23, so 5:28 for our closing ceremony. That's all.